Hello, everyone, and welcome. Just give us one moment to get our cameras situated. All righty. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Cooking Connected. If this is your first time, welcome. We're glad to have you. And if you get a chance, go ahead and check out our Cooking Connected playlist on YouTube. We've got plenty more videos for you to check out. My name is Sajwa, and I'm one of the Cooking Matters program coordinators. I'm also joined here today with Jordan and Chef Jeff. Sorry.
Hi there.
So Jordan and I are both Cooking Matters program coordinators, and Jeff is one of our volunteers. As you know, the Cooking Matters program in Minnesota is in collaboration with the University of Minnesota Extension. And normally we meet for 6 weeks. Once a week for 2 hours. And in these classes, you'll have a nutrition educator and a chef who will work together to go through a recipe. We'll learn some nutrition that coincides with that, cook together, and learn how to make healthy, delicious, and affordable meals. So today, Jordan is going to be our educator and Chef Jeff is going to be our chef. But before we get started with today's video, I do want to give us our survey code, our program code for today's survey. I will have the survey link and program code also in the description box of the video, and I'll put it in the live chat in just a moment. So the program code for this week's episode of Cooking Connected is going to be E101175. We really appreciate all the feedback that you guys have given us and all the things that you guys have shared with us to help us continue to make these videos better. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic to Jordan and Chef Jeff.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sajwa. So today we're going to be making a beautiful spring roll recipe. So it's a chicken spring roll. We would like to thank Snap Ed Educator Chef Thao for this amazing recipe that Chef Jeff is going to be demonstrating for us today. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Chef Jeff.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Glad to see you. So yes, today we're going to be doing a chicken spring roll with some fresh vegetables. So we're gonna have some chicken breast, we have romaine, cilantro, cucumbers, carrots. We also have some rice noodles that we're going to cook. Actually, I've already cooked them for you. So to make this class go a little bit smoother, and rice paper. So the first thing we're going to do is actually wash our hands, because we always want to wash our hands for this proper food service environment. So if you guys remember, you want to turn your water on, rinse off your hands, apply some soap, and wash for 20 seconds, up and down, both sides, up to the exposed skin, in between the fingers. Go like this to get your fingernails, and count to, how many times, what do we count to? Or sing the happy birthday song 2 times, or count to 20 for 20 seconds. And then we can rinse off. Thoroughly rinse off, and then we want to dry off our hands. We always want to have really clean hands, because dirty hands or contaminated hands is the #1 cause of foodborne illness, whether you're either at a restaurant or a hospital or at your home. It's the worst part of, it's the first area of cross-contamination right there. So always, always, always wash your hands, and in between handling potentially hazardous foods. And the first one that we're going to handle is a chicken breast. I've already thawed it out. I've already washed my hands. So I've got my cutting board right here. And so I've got this chicken breast, like I said, I thawed it out. So what I'm going to do is show you how to slice this, because sometimes chicken breasts can be really, really thick, and it's too much for what we actually need. So what we do is this is called first of all, we want to trim off some of this excess fat. Turn around this way.
And Chef Jeff, can you tell us the proper way to defrost like frozen chicken, what the way you would suggest is?
Sure. There's 4 recommended ways to defrost something from the freezer. So the best way is to put it into a container, put it in your refrigerator overnight, 2 days, something like that, and depending on how large a quantity that's frozen, and keep it in your refrigerator overnight, 2 days, whatever, and then use it that way. That's the most safest way. The second best way to do, or to thaw, is to put see, I thawed this chicken breast, put it in a bag, and I put it under cold running water. Okay, it has to be cold running water, about 70 degrees. You don't want to use hot water, because it'll start cooking the food from the outside. So, and it'll take a couple of hours, typically an hour or 2, depending on how big the piece is. And then you want to dry this out and pat it and dry it so it's nice and dry. So the next thing is either microwave it directly from a frozen state. So if you have, say, some frozen hamburger patties, you could put it on your thaw cycle if you want to. Or there's, you can also use your heat method, which can also start cooking the meat or whatever you're going to be thawing right away. So that's is not as good a recommendation. The thing about microwaving it, you want to eat it right away too. Okay, it's very, very important you eat right away. Whereas the other ones, you don't have to eat right away. You can wait. And then the other one is directly into the oven, or cook it directly from frozen state in your oven, or on your saute pan, or into your sauce pot, whatever you're going to use. So, you can always take a chub of ground beef, put it into your skillet, and start putting it on like a medium-low temperature, and then let it cook like that, and keep separating it, turning it over and separating it, just like that. So Those are the 4 recommended ways.
Yeah, so I want everybody to notice, Chef Jeff did not say throw your meat out on the counter and let it sit to defrost. That is very dangerous and not something that we want to do. So keep that in mind and use those other defrost methods that Chef Jeff just told us about.
I remember staying at some friend's house, and both of them, she and he, were both nurses in a hospital. And so we were going to go out for the day, and they took out some chicken from the freezer and they left it by their sink. And I said, wait a minute, you guys are nurses. You know you're not supposed to thaw like that, don't you? Well, maybe they don't teach that in nursing skill or nursing class. I'm not sure, but yeah. So anyway, this can be really thick. If you want it really thick, that's fine. But I'm going to show you how to. You can also butterfly it. So I'm going to start with the middle, and I'm just going to lay my blade flat, and then make a sawing motion, pick it up, and then go like that, okay? And I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Just make a sawing motion, follow the contour of the chicken breast itself, and there we have a butterfly chicken. And these are great for other things, for like, you could pound this out slightly, and then you could make a filling, whatever kind of mushroom filling, rice filling, crab filling, and then roll this back up and seal it. And then you could saute it and finish it off in the oven. That's one way of using a butterfly chicken breast. So I'm going to use half of this just for the sake of showing you how to cut this for today's class. And I'm just going to turn the blade kind of like that. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. It's going to turn like this and just cut it into strips. I'm going to go this way and just roll it over, just like that. Slice it, move it over there. One more time. Now carefully, I don't know if you noticed, I was keeping my thumb and my fingers back, okay? I was making the curled fingers right here for my cutting motion. My thumb is slightly curled behind my fingers and into my palm. So I was going like this when I was making my cuts. I don't want to have fingers tips out. See, I have at my age, I still have all of my fingernails and all of my fingers still attached after doing this for something like 40 years. So I've already made my marinade. This over here. And the marinade is soy sauce, and I use brown sugar, sesame oil. There's 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, about a tablespoon of brown sugar. I sprinkled in some garlic powder and add some onion powder, a little bit of ginger, and about half a teaspoon of sesame oil. So you want to let this marinate for about 30 minutes, and then put into the recipe in a saute pan or some kind of pan. Add about a teaspoon of butter, and then you stir fry your chicken. Okay. So now that I have chicken all over my fingers, okay, I don't want to go open the refrigerator door. I don't want to grab my beautiful wife and kiss her right now, or open or touch anything else, touch lemons, touch fresh salad mix, because I don't want to cross-contaminate. I don't want to get the salmonella on anything else. So I'm going to wash my hands again for 20 seconds. I want to get that out of the way for this class because, and you notice I moved my cutting board out of there, okay? And you can see my workspace. Maybe you can see much of my workspace. There's nothing around it, because if you're slicing something, you're putting something down on a cutting board, you might have some splatters that you're not going to be able to see.
Absolutely. So you'll notice Chef Jeff is probably going to be using 2 different cutting boards, or he's going to thoroughly wash cutting boards. But typically it's 2 different cutting boards between the chicken and then the vegetables he's going to be cutting. So he's keeping everything very separate.
Yeah. So Let me move this out of the way. It's right here. All right, there we go. So actually, I have already prepared my vegetables, okay? So we have some cucumber, carrots, some shredded romaine. This is a mixture of, well, it's orange peppers and red peppers, the sweet mini ones that you can buy at the store, cilantro, and some diced jalapenos. So that's what we're going to do. So actually, I'm just going to use that for a stage purpose right there. And I've already pre-cooked my chicken, okay, from earlier. So I pre-cooked my chicken. I've let it cool. It's ready. It's ready to go. It's ready to go.
You guys, we have a quick question. If I wanted to make this vegetarian, could I use tofu? And
Oh, sure.
if I was going to use tofu, would I marinate it the same way you did the chicken?
Yes. Good question. Yes, you could. Make sure that you're buying the firm tofu or extra firm tofu. I would go with the extra firm myself. I want it to hold shape as much as possible. So this, I use this tool right here that I bought at Asian grocery store down the street from me, Saigon Asian Mart. And I use that. I first use my vegetable peeler to peel the carrots. This outer part of this carrot. Normally I like to use the inner part or outer part. I don't really particularly care to peel them, but I like it. And it works really cool. I'll just do it on this table right here. So I did the carrots and the cucumbers just like that. So they make a really cool garnish, and it makes it really, really easy to slice up as opposed to using your knife and then going in there and making lots of fine dices or slices.
Yes. So this is really up to your preference. If you want a huge hunk of carrot in your spring rolls, I would prefer maybe a little less like Jeff's doing. But if you don't have maybe one of those fancier tools, you can do like maybe I've done matchstick cuts before on all of these vegetables. So you can do something like that if you don't have like a vegetable peeler, but a vegetable peeler would make it very easy to just quickly peel these vegetables and throw it in a spring roll. Looks like Chef Jeff's going to show us how to do a matchstick cut.
So the first thing, since carrots are round rolls, we don't want to have rolling carrots. It's too dangerous. So I cut it in half first. Then I'm going to make some slices. Make sure, have your fingertips back curled in and your thumb curled into your palm. Sometimes when you're getting really small like this, you're going to have to pinch it. And be careful that you do not move just keep your blade straight, flat, and down, okay? You need a really, really sharp knife. It's best to use a really sharp knife. Either sharpen it, as needed, use a sharpening steel. So anyway, here's some matchsticks that you can also use. They go great in all different kinds of sandwiches. I like them on. I love adding something like this onto like a chicken patty sandwich and cilantro and daikon and jalapeno. Just adding this onto like those even a chicken patty or chicken sandwiches you might get at fast food places. This would be so good on those fried chicken breast sandwiches. Nice and fresh, extra crispy vegetables. Nice.
That's such a great tip. So maybe adding a few more vegetables to a chicken sandwich. So maybe next time you get a chicken sandwich, try adding a few extra vegetables on top.
I'm just going to cut this up a little bit more fine.
So I think this recipe would go really good with like other things as well, such as shrimp. And we also mentioned tofu. Is there anything else you can think of, Jeff, that maybe would go well in these spring rolls?
Yes, you can use, of course, shrimp. You could add some of the the surimi, which is also known as those pollock legs that you can buy at the store. You can either buy the chunks of pollock or surimi, or you can buy the legs of surimi as well. So those legs would be really cool. You have the package? I have a package right here somewhere. Well,
And of course, you could always do just vegetables, of course, as well. And I think that would taste phenomenal still.
pork, shrimp, little pieces of thinly sliced beef as well. It'd be really good with that. Yeah. So that is very good right there. Next thing we want to do is get our rice paper. And what we will do with that is put it into some water for about 10 seconds, rolling it around. I'm just going to turn my cutting board over. So can you see that? Barely see that? Okay.
So Jeff, is it hot water or cold water? Does it matter?
This is a good question. This is just room temperature water.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, I need a plate. This goes better on a plate, a flat plate.
Maybe Chef Jeff will give us a few tips. I feel every time I make spring rolls, my rice paper breaks. So maybe you'll have a few tips for us.
Okay. I think maybe you just got to work quickly.
Yeah.
As soon as it comes out of the water, like I said, 8 to 10 seconds, and then start making your spring roll.
So it's going to be really important that you have all of your ingredients ready to go before you start this step. Make sure everything's ready, like Chef Jeff has it ready right now.
Yes, it's really important. And the other thing is, if you keep these wrappers out for a while, they will start, in 10 or 15 minutes, they will start to curl up. Okay, so they're going to start drying out. So you always want to make sure that they're covered up or put the original container back on there. So anyway, so 10 seconds, I'm just going to roll around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's about right, I think. Feels a little bit. I think I got too cold in the warm water. Add some warm water. Because I can still feel it's a little bit crispy still. It's been sitting over here on that stove for a while. That's much better. Okay, so I have my ingredients. Add some peppers, colorful it up. We've got nice color representation, I think, don't we?
Absolutely. So we're definitely eating the rainbow today. Lots of vegetables as well, which is really awesome. Can anybody think of any other vegetables they might want to add to these spring rolls in our audience today? Any suggestions for what they like to add or?
I'm not seeing anything in the chat yet, but I know personally I would love to add shrimp in there. That sounds so good. I also could see where cabbage could be pretty tasty in there too. Perhaps red or purple cabbage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I was thinking purple cabbage as well. Yeah, good idea.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, what I did was I left the spring roll is about this big around, and I started putting the fillings right here, about an inch away from the edge. So I rolled it over, one roll over this way, and then I folded it in towards the center, and now I'm just finishing up the wrap itself, okay? So there we have one wrapper or spring roll right there, chicken. So we have.
So Chef Jeff, if we make these ahead of time, how long do you think they last in the fridge? Do you suggest just eating them right away or making them as you go, or can you make them ahead of time and eat them later?
I would definitely, well, try to eat them as soon as possible. But, you know, if you're going to put them back in the refrigerator, put them, make sure they're well covered up because they will dry out. But, you know, I would say, gosh, 4 or 5 hours. Otherwise, you know, the spring roll wrapper is going to lose its dexterity, or it's not going to be able to endure that kind of a period of time now. So anyway, this is a dipping sauce my wife made. This is just a mixture of, I had some leftover cilantro, so I just chopped it up real fine. I'm just gonna spread it on here for some extra, little bit of flavor. I chopped it up and eventually I added some oil to it to give it some color and flavor. So anyway, we'll just leave it like that. So that's one way to do a spring roll. And this peanut sauce has peanut butter in it. It has sriracha, some soy sauce, vinegar, fish sauce. My wife made it. Ginger, fresh ginger, and garlic. Yeah. So anyway, let me go ahead and cut this.
That is beautiful. So yes, a peanut sauce would be amazing with this. A beautiful spring roll here.
So try this out. It's here. Here we go. That's what it looks like. I think I need to make it a little bit tighter. So I got to be more aggressive with it, okay? Just so you know.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, Jeff. Well, Jeff, enjoying that beautiful spring roll. We're going to learn a little bit of nutrition before we go today. So I just really wanted to quickly talk to you all about snacking. So snacking has kind of gotten a bad rap in the past, but snacking can be a really important part of a healthy diet. So I just wanted to quickly talk to you about how we can incorporate healthy snacks into our diet and the importance of doing that. So snacks can really help us increase nutrient intake into our diet. It can help us sustain energy levels. So for me personally, I get really hungry and kind of tired around 2 p.m. every day. So something I like to do is you eat a healthy snack, and that just kind of, is a nice little pick me up until dinner. I also notice that if I don't eat a snack, I eat a lot more at dinner. So incorporating a healthy snack between for your afternoon meal and your evening meal can be a really good way to, sustain that energy level and keep your blood sugar stable. Healthy snacks can also help us improve the quality of our diet. So thinking back to my plate, we have those 5 different food groups, our fruits, vegetables, whole grains, dairy, and protein. We're supposed to be eating from all 5 food groups at every meal. So let's say at breakfast, you had a bowl of oatmeal with a glass of milk and a side of fruit. So we've got 3 out of those 5 food groups that we're supposed to be eating from, but we're still missing 2 important food groups. Well, something we can do is you eat those food groups at our next snack. So we're missing the vegetables and our protein. So maybe we can use cut up vegetables and some hummus to kind of cover that gap that we were missing from breakfast. So it can really help us to improve our diet quality as well. Something to keep in mind when we're thinking about healthy snacks is it's important that they're healthy snacks. we're not looking for convenience food or kind of snacks that are really sugary or high in sodium. So continue to think about adding whole grains in your snack. Fruits and vegetables are always a great option. Adding protein like mixed nuts would be great, or peanut butter. You can also do some lean meats, maybe like sliced turkey with crackers. And then of course, low fat dairy. So thinking like low fat yogurt would be a great option, or a part skim cheese stick. So thinking about our snacks for the day, I know a big barrier for myself was to having snacks in my diet is a fridge available? So when I'm working, sometimes I'm on the go and I don't have a fridge readily available all the time. So that's something that you need to consider when you're planning your snacks. So we're going to talk about a few really quick snacks that are on the go and some that are maybe more refrigerated. So thinking of on the go snacks, maybe snacks that you can throw in your bag, throw in your car, have at your desk. Think like healthy granola bars. So when we're thinking about granola bars, please watch your sugar. Make sure you turn that package around and look at how much sugar is in there. Some granola bars can be not so healthy. So make sure you're looking at the sugar content. As we've talked about, mixed nuts are great. You can portion those out. Whole grain crackers, different types of fruits like orange, bananas, apples. And then homemade trail mix is a great idea as well. Some snacks that are maybe a little bit, some that you will have to refrigerate a little bit. Today's recipe might be a good example. If you make those and then you're able to eat those about 5 hours, you can have a little protein in those vegetables that you were missing from breakfast. Veggies and hummus, we've already talked about. Some whole grain crackers with cheese and maybe sliced turkey. Tuna on crackers could be a great snack. Yogurt, the string cheese, hard-boiled eggs, and peanut butter with celery are all snacks that maybe if you have access to a refrigerator during the day, could be great snacks for you. The last thing I want you to think about when you're planning your healthy snacks is to do exactly that, plan and prep ahead of time. So it's really makes the process a lot easier if you plan and prep your snacks ahead of time. So you could really, get into this by portioning out those mixed nuts that we were talking about. You can get your kids involved ahead of time and have them make their own homemade trail mix to eat throughout the week. So if you have a little extra time, maybe on your weekends or during the week to prep some healthy snacks that will work in your schedule, that can make this process a lot easier. And then you have things readily available for yourself just to grab and go. That way you're not digging through your cabinets trying to figure out what you can snack on during the day. So with that, it looks like Jeff's making his last spring roll here.
Yep.
Awesome.
One more.
One more.
Try to make it more tight. You have to, it's like making a burrito. Just curl your fingers in and then bring this over to the other side as well. After doing this a couple of times, you get it down. That one is so much better. Look at that. That's good. I like that one.
That's perfect. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you, Chef Jeff, for that wonderful spring roll demonstration. And thank you, Jordan, for the nutrition education and those tips for snacking. Before we let you guys go, I am going to give you the program code for this week's episode of Cooking Connected, the chicken spring rolls. Again, that survey link and the program code will be in the description box of this video, as well as the live chat. So the program code is E101175. And we just want to say thank you so much to everybody who joined us today.
Thank you very much.
Those spring rolls look incredible. Kind of jealous that we're not gonna be able to have any, but that's okay. I'll have to make them myself. Very beautiful. All right, everybody. Well, we'll see you next week on Thursday at 2 p.m. for another episode of Cooking Connected.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye, everybody.